Hello, good morning guys. Today I wanted to tell you about an experiment I'm doing for streaming from one camera, multi-virtual cameras from one 4K stream. So I've built a setup using an HDMI 4K to USB 3 connection. I've put Windows on my Mac, put vMix on the Windows machine, and use my Sony F5 4K camera to put in the feed. So I wanted to show you that today. I'm also streaming it to our browser server in the test, and I'll show you the CPU usage and how I all connected it. It's surprisingly easy and low strain on a computer. So here you see my 4K Sony F5. I've put on a Metabones adapter. There's a 28 to 75 millimeter lens on there from Tamron to be a little wide and a little zoom. So I'll show you what the results are. So here's the MacBook Pro 13-inch from 2016 with only USBC ports, which runs Windows. This is the INOGENI 4K to HDMI to USB 3 converter to capture the 4K or UHD exactly format in the computer. I need to use this converter from USB 3 to USB-C because it's a Mac, one of the newest ones, so I'll have to use that, but it works fine. Here you can see all the vMix screens I've made. I'll go in depth now to show you how it all works. So as you can see, I've got the viewing window up, and this is the total image that comes from the camera. This is captured. You see cars running and all kinds of stuff. I'm shooting this from out of my house. There's a street there, so I can test this pretty well. I've made 3 virtual cameras of this shot. You can see here that it's in the lower corner where the yellow car and some leaves or some lettuce, or I'm not really sure what it is. There's the woman working in the garden. This is a little closer. The most viewable in the distance is the roof, and I took the roof to see what kind of ugly image it would give if it was totally zoomed in and as far away as I could get with yeah, if it would show some weird stuff, then it would be visible here. So this is the result, and you see that there are some because of the distance and it's a hot day, so you see the air like bubbly, and it's kind of fuzzy, and so the image is obviously digitally enhanced and blown up, but it's not that bad. There's you can see that there's some pixelation here in the window, but yeah, it's acceptable. I'll show you how I can change the zoomness. There's a position tab in vMix where you can say zoom. I'm at zoom level 5 now. Obviously when I press reset, it goes back to zoom level 1, and I can reset all these parameters, and then I have the total shot. So zoom level 1 is no zoom, pan and tilt of pan X and Z, Y is 0 is nothing. So if I want to, for instance, make the shot the same as what I did just now on the roof, only I want the part of 1/3 in the shot, then I obviously say zoom level 2, because if you go beyond 2, then I would think that it would be blow up the you're going beyond the full HD resolution, because full HD is 4 times in 4K, so if I go beyond 2, then I will blow up the image. Now when I just pan to the side, you can see that I can pan it out of the image in total, but I don't want to do that. Now then I go up, and now I have the corner. Now it's that simple. I press X and I have the image. I'll make it larger. Then this is the total image. You see that it looks pretty good. It's sharp as it can be in that distance, because it's quite far away. You can still see the dove here. The car, it's pretty good. vMix has a little trick up its sleeve. You can obviously, for instance, cut between between the shots like a normal mixer, but when I press merge, it does a virtual pan tilt to the other shot if it's a virtual shot. So that's kind of fun. You see, I can go from zoomed in, it will just slide or zoom to the other instance. So that's kind of fun. I kind of like that. It's a very nifty feature, if you ask me. Obviously all the other playable stuff is also in there, but that's vMix normal. You can check that out. But obviously cut is the one that you will use most, because cut is normal. Audio is picked up from the main thing via HDMI and via the normal audio connector and mixer on the camera. So your audio is obviously very good, because the audio to the camera is very professional. So in this setup you have the cost of vMix. I don't know which version you need to have for this kind of feature, because I'm using the trial version which has everything. vMix doesn't do anything on CPU usage. It's 2% on CPU, and total CPU is 7. But I'm not encoding yet. But to streaming, I'm going to stream to my own server, and I'll show you what kind of extra it does. I have all kinds of parameters set in, which I'm not going to show you, but when I press stream, it will connect, and now it's streaming. And I've checked on my other computer that it's actually arriving at my browser server as a publishing point, which I can use to stream to YouTube or whatever I want, or just on our own browser platform. Now I'm pretty impressed by all this. The total CPU usage, inclusive encoding, including encoding now, is only 16%. So I can, the total number of virtual shots in this vMix program doesn't seem to matter. There's only one feed coming in, and all the heavy lifting is probably done in the INOGENI HDMI to USB 3 connector, and it's all in direct show on the Windows machine. So yeah, it's pretty powerful. The usual stuff from vMix is can be done on this manner. So yeah, it's pretty hefty, and yeah, I like it. This afternoon we're going to do a test with the same setup in a location which we in the theater, which you could use this, because now I have a lot of light because it's outside. So the real test is in stage light and in the theater. So yeah, if it then still holds up, but I'll let you know in another video. So this would be a very cool setup for, yeah, for streaming if you by using multiple cameras, which is when you only have one. So yeah. So guys, I hope you have found this useful. Yeah, I forgot to mention the cost of all this. My Mac is of course about 2,500 euros, so it's quite expensive. The INOGENI is about 450 euros, if I'm not mistaken, but yeah, including tax, or 425 or something. The camera, of course, is quite expensive. You have the Sony FS5 is about 5,000 euros, 5.5, or I'm not sure what it is at the moment. But you could use another 4K camera, as long as it outputs 4K or UHD over the HDMI 1.4a connector, because that's the only port that will support it for now on the INOGENI. Otherwise you have to buy other expensive hardware. The JVC LS300 camera, which costs 3,500 euros, would be a good option if you ask me. It can record for a long time on longer than 29 minutes on a card, which all those photo cameras can't. They stop recording after half an hour, which is and streaming it's not handy. So I would suggest that you buy a real 4K camera, and video camera, that is. So not yeah, not a photo camera that also takes 4K, because otherwise you can't record longer than half an hour. That's in Europe the case. So yeah, I hope you can also do this with a 4K webcam if you only do a show on your own desktop. If you have enough light, then it will be okay. So make sure that you have some light, and then the pixelation goes away. The same goes for the, I have a Mevo camera as well, but in level 4 ATM switcher stuff in the basement, in the garage, which we obviously use for multicam video. But this is more like a Mevo setup, and we like to try how we could use this for one camera operator streamer show for customers that don't have a lot of money, so that we can also yeah, cater for them. So I hope you like this. Subscribe to my channel, and yeah, like, and I hope to show you the results. Okay, bye.